That might be
Some
It's a
great
sandbox.
questions.
It's a soapbox. It's FanBox.
And that's right. It is episode 18. We are talking about the reality war, the season 2 finale. The episode where everyone is collectively going,
What? 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 What?
that pretty much sums up the episode, I think.
I was fully expecting more from 14 as well as appearance. Just going, what?
So, welcome to FanBox. It's fanbox.com or fanboxnetwork.com. You can find out about all of the other podcasts and shows that we do. We just wrapped up the After Andor show on Friday night. We talked about Thunderbolts last night. We're doing Tardis Talks. And of course, if you think that just because the season's over, we have nothing to talk about, we are jumping right back into season 2 next week with the Christmas special, the Christmas invasion. So be sure to watch us. You can also follow us on podcasts. Let's go ahead and just jump into without gilding the lily. Let's go ahead and have everybody tell us where you can find us or find you. Go.
Hi. Oh, I'm first. My name's Sarah, and I'm at Movies and Tea across all social platforms.
All right, Niko.
I'm Niko. Niko Skywalker on TikTok, Skywalker Niko on Instagram.
And just like Sarah, I've got my act together. That Will Wilkins on all social medias.
Y'all can find me at Marvelous Johnny on all socials. Just make sure you have 2 L's in Marvelous.
Because of that whole
Genetics.
Canadian thing?
Genesis 1138 on all socials, mostly TikTok, Twitch, and here. That's it.
Okay. So we wrapped up season 2 with Judy, and you guys just go for it.
Full-blown spoilers ahead, people. So if you haven't seen it, definitely.
Yeah, this is
It's pretty obvious.
This is so dripping with spoilers. We need a mop. My
yeah.
God, what the ever-living insert bleep here was that?
Sarah, how did you say it so eloquently yesterday?
I don't even remember. I made so many videos at this point. Initially, I was in shock, and then I said I was shooketh, and then now, like a day later, I'm like, wait, what the just happened? And like, why did it happen? I'm like, if you let me go first this night, I'm gonna like.
I remember your statement in the group chat with "holy."
I love the one part though where you thought it was a joke for a moment, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought they were kidding. I thought he was kidding. I'm like, why are you regenerating?
I didn't realize it was a regeneration until we started seeing all the faces on the monitor. I'm like,
no, I didn't even know it at that point. I was like, I thought he was faking it. I thought he and Jodie would like figure it out together, and like he wouldn't have to like use up all of his power in order to like.
I thought season 2 was just gonna end with the 2 doctors just going like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's try to solve this. And then season 3 was gonna be Shooty and Jodie at least. I'm like, that'd be a fun setup.
It would be. I think would be giving her dues that she deserved. But I will say I did really enjoy her appearance. I think that little bit with them made it worthwhile, and I feel like it gave a little bit of respect where she didn't get it before. And I love the fact that he's like, he just comes right out and he's like, I loved you. He's like, I love you. And she's like, I never said, I should say that to Yaz. And
you never do, but she knows.
Yeah. Like that was really sweet.
Yeah.
Gosh, I jumped up when Jodie appeared because my phone screensaver right now is me and Jodie. Like I'm cosplaying 15. I was like,
and she knew, and she never told you. You need to repost that image online. Just go like,
oh
well,
my
this hurt.
gosh. This reminds me of all the Swifties that are all shooketh because Taylor Swift got her albums back, and now they're comparing past photos to nail polish to see just how long she knew they had been clowning. And yes, my world dips into Taylor Swift. Let's not judge. Let me, if I can just roll it back for one moment. I would like to start off with some positivity because I don't know where I'm going to go for the rest of this.
Same.
So because, like, as I mentioned, at least to friends the last time I talked, it's like, I really hope this isn't just your typical Russell T Davies Deus Machina right at the beginning and you're into a different story and wazoo, there you go. That's
I
what
have
we got
a whole
again.
list of things that I wrote down as RTD butthole reasonings.
Oh, there you go. Good. I can't wait to hear those. But some positivity, I will say, the one thing I did enjoy about this is that it was a story that was told that for the first part of it, I'll say, really seemed to be part of the cohesive storyline that has existed for this Doctor's run. Every single element from his run was kind of woven into this, and it made some things that happen make way more sense for us. So I really like that. The way we got to see all these characters and all these elements come together to save the day. That was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that. I absolutely got a kick out of the whole. I absolutely loved seeing, I believe her name is Anita. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Checking in and being able to see other doctors, which, as Niko mentioned, what we see later, they were peppering us. They were getting us ready. That was the tenderizing before we got salt and peppered and put in the oven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
it was very Clara with how she went through the Doctor's entire time stream.
I liked that, and I liked obviously, like I said, I loved seeing Whittaker pop up because everybody, I think, agrees she was an absolutely great Doctor that had absolutely poor writing, and it was wonderful. So thank you all for letting me get that off my chest. I will sit back now and just react to the things you say.
In our dreams,
white man.
Are you sure?
Thing for me is, why is it that it always seems like the big bad is this giant CGI monster now with Disney Plus, and it's always wiped out?
That's what I have.
Quickest, simplest way. Like, oh, let's just take the Vindicators and shoot
and
them.
just blast them. Freaking Ghostbusters this shit.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened last season too. It was like huge CGI.
He was dragged through time and
space.
space. Yeah.
Yes, and like huge
RTD
blaster.
butthole reasoning.
Right. I'm like, this is. I thought the episode overall felt like so disconnected. Like there was one part, which was the first part, which was trash, and then there was the second part, which was actually okay, but was also trash because of the Poppy storyline. And I'm like, why the fuck do we care about this person who we don't even know about and / no one else knows about?
Honestly, it was giving a lot of WandaVision vibes from that alone, with Wanda just wanting her child back, or children back.
That one makes a little bit more sense, though.
That works a lot better than this. I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
but
Belinda had Poppy for like one day, and she didn't even remember who she was, and now she's like, "Oh, I need this unknown person in my life."
That's the weird thing, because we found out from Anita that it's been repeating May 23rd like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, apparently. So I guess like all those memories involving Poppy are still real within Belinda, but at the same time, it calls into question, how does this affect Belinda's character?
Yeah,
because I watched the Doctor Who behind the scenes stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, it made sense that by the end of it, Belinda was just always gonna go back for Poppy." I'm just like,
I have
every single. Sorry, David. No, go ahead.
I've been saying for a while she's mentioning her parents too much. It's a little suspicious for some reason. Right. And then now, if you just replace parents with Poppy, that's why they planted those seeds all throughout the season.
See, I also hate the fact that we have like an inconsistent narrator, or the unreliable narration, because we have been watching this entire season unfold, and there's something been missing, but it's like, okay, whereas it would make me want to go back and watch it. It's like, now I know it's not all accurate. Why would I want to go back and watch this? But the show, the episode at least gave more validation for season 1. I would say, because some of the things that were tied in, like I was like, I've only been like, a year old or 7 days old, and the doctor saved me. But then we got we may have not gotten the friends we found along the way, but we at least got but aren't we all your children?
It was
that was bordering on it.
But I liked that, actually.
I
thought
get.
it was
I
kind
like
of
the
cute.
idea of that, where like in some way, because like the doctor has been protecting them, especially like Kate. I imagine like he was working
Yeah.
with her father for so long, it makes sense that he would also protect his own daughter. And yeah, but it's I don't know.
Considering we were blindsided by a regeneration.
I think that's an interesting topic to talk on because, like, Sarah, you brought it on in your TikToks, and I love it because you're like, this is like my first surprise regeneration, and honestly, I think it's everyone's first surprise generation for New Who itself. Because for the longest time, at least, like when Matt Smith and Peter and Jodie were announced, they were always announced before the regeneration, so we know it's coming.
Yeah.
So,
and also there was just a rumor that Ncuti was gonna leave, but I thought like maybe at least he would do a special and then that would be the end. Or like something to like tie it out, because there's so many things that were just like left in the air. Like his granddaughter, the giggle, what else? The gods, like hello, what
why could the Ronnie even break the fourth wall? We never touched on that.
Yeah, I don't understand.
No, it's also kind of interesting because like my biggest problem with this episode, and there are lots of things that I liked about this episode. This is not a terrible episode. It's just not. Again, I think when we get to the season finales with Disney Plus, it's always been kind of like a. Like you just it's a little bit of, and I know they use the surprise at the end, but like the repeating realities over and over again, like them saying like they were constantly going through the same day. I was sitting there going, it's almost like they sat in a room, they're like, you know what, let's make another version of Hellbent but make it worse.
Yes, I talked about this. It was that and like the John Smith episode with David Tennant. If you guys remember.
Oh yeah. The
with like the Scarecrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that episode.
That's a great episode.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like the two parallels would be those. Two
episodes.
Yeah.
So it's like a regurgitation of like previous storylines, but just not done well.
And in regard to this, Sarah really hit on a point that I was saying as well when I'm like, it's kind of like the first half of this, because there are two different stories that happen. So I have to, in my mind, I wonder, was Ncuti not intended or contractually set originally to leave, or they thought he would be going further and he found out what production on Doctor Who is really like and decided this has been great, but the rest isn't for me. And they had to add in this Poppy storyline to now. Basically, there was one story, and now there's suddenly a bridge to get us to a new chapter. That doesn't connect. Basically, you know what I'm saying?
That first part felt like an ending, and I was like, okay, it's gonna end. But then I like looked at the little clock, whatever, like the bar. I'm like, there's 30 minutes left. How?
Like, what is this for? I'm like, is this all gonna be epilogue?
Side note, quick side note about Poppy. That is the most expressive child I've ever seen.
I love that child. She is so cute.
She's so cute. Oh, she's
they probably thought during Space Babies, like baby's so cute. Let's bring her back. Like,
yeah.
I mean, valid.
Rose Kirby, what the hell happened? Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like,
what? Just the
from
biggest
the UK.
what?
Well, it's like Terrell, Theories by T, like was at the TARDIS, like at the set,
and everyone knew.
He posted a video. He's like, they all knew, and they still had me. Like, I feel bad for the dude. Actually, I don't feel bad for the dude. He actually got to get on the set of the TARDIS.
Yeah, and like he literally is on the Doctor Who account.
I would love to just run around on this TARDIS. It's so big and beautiful.
By the way, genius bit of writing and great delivery by Whitaker. It's like, must it be so big in a room that's
defined by its bigness?
Yeah. Thank you. It's like, oh man, that's good.
Yeah, every
I like that
her
they
on
kept
screen
that.
was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I really like that they kept the whole, oh, you've changed. I don't like
it.
Oh, that going, see, that's another good element. That's something I enjoy.
The OGs. Yeah. No, it's great for that.
And also, when we have certain people come back to the role, like with aging and everything else, I know it's not been that long since Jodie was a doctor, but she looks timeless. She looks like right out of like the last season that she was in.
She was wearing a wig too for this. Apparently, she's
Yeah.
got long brown hair right now, so
I
that's why.
actually
Or
initially
when they
thought she was
filmed.
a cosplayer when she came on. Like,
Here's the thing, though, that the 13th Doctor look is such a nice cosplay. It looks so comfy.
Yeah.
So, like, I
Oh,
get
yeah.
why people cosplay it.
yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why Chudi's the Doctor. Like Niko. I mean, you're looking like it. I mean, come on. You can go out in that, and you're not like people are gonna be looking at you like, why are you looking so weird? Like, oh, that guy's got some style. Like,
Yeah,
for the non Whovians, you're showing.
You're
it
just
off,
dripping.
Yeah, wearing 15 out is so hilarious. I was wearing this in Philly, just waiting for my train. The guy comes by, he's like, "Do you dress like this all the time?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nice. I love your outfit, man. Do it."
So at least
Brilliant.
Niko's wallet's going to have a little less pressure for a while.
There you go.
I immediately messaged somebody about remaking that outfit that Shooty wore this episode.
With the kilt?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
I
and wear it to
love the
NYCC
moment he dropped that
immediately.
jacket. It was so great.
I would probably never actually ship it to you, but if I had your measurements, I actually know how to sew too, and I could make it for you. But let's not bother with that. Niko, I do have to ask you a question though, and it is something I brought up pre-show, but I think it's kind of important to talk about and hear the perspective on, because throughout the history of Doctor Who, I can look at all the doctors, and there's always representation for me, right? It's everywhere in media, because obviously I'm white. So I have to ask you though, because first there was, I'm sure, well, if you could tell me now how it felt with the reveal of Ncuti being the new Doctor, and how it felt having to endure or having to experience this surprise regeneration.
When Shooty was cast as the Doctor, it's funny. I have like a really big connection to 15. Everything that happens to them always happens around May and my birthday. And his first season released on my birthday. His reveal a week before my birthday. This season ended 2 weeks after my birthday. It was a big deal for the Doctor to be cast as a Black guy. I never felt like I'd see that level of representation for me in this show, because it got weird when a woman was cast as a Doctor. So my brain was like, "Oh, they're never gonna do that," and they did it. I rioted in the streets. I bought his outfits immediately, and when he was gone, didn't think it happened this. Let me fix my sentence. Didn't think it happened this soon. It was a crazy moment. I cried, but it was in watching Shooty's video, his goodbye video to Doctor Who fans, and like how welcomed he felt by the role. I'm just like, I have a warmness in my heart for having had 15, but it's so sad to be that he's gone now. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry again. I've seen the episode like 4 times.
I do have his quote here. Should I read it?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. So here we go. You know, when you get cast, at some point, you are going to have to hand back that sonic screwdriver. And it's all going to come to an end, but nothing quite prepares you for it. The journey has been one that I will never forget, and a role that will be part of me forever. There are no words to describe what it feels like to be cast as the Doctor, nor are there words to explain what it feels like to be accepted into this iconic role that has existed for over 60 years and is truly loved by so many across the globe. The fans are truly the final character and beating heart of the show, and I can't thank the Whoniverse and Whovians enough for welcoming me in and making this such a touching experience. I've loved every minute of it, but now it's the time to hand over the keys to that beloved blue box and let someone else take control and enjoy it every bit as much as I have. I'll truly miss it and forever be grateful to it, and everyone that has played a part in my journey as the Doctor. Ncuti Gatwa, the 15th Doctor.
One of my favorite
He was
parts
hitting
of his
his
video,
stride.
He was strutting down the runway of the TARDIS. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I loved the dialogue he gave as he was regenerating. I think it made me realize what I loved about him as a Doctor so much, because the emphasis on the word joy I think that's the thing. Like he typified joy in the Doctor, and like even the fact of where he's talking with Jodie and he says, you know, I love you, and she's like, you know, I don't say that, and it's like, yeah, but now you do, and hopefully we get more doctors that are willing to do that. Like he gave a depth of warmth that the Doctors were always viciously protective and viciously loyal to their companions, and we did see love, like with Tennant and Rose and everything else,
Amy and 11.
yeah, exactly. But there being joy, there was always like a level of unhingedness, and being a madman in a box didn't always have to be dangerous. It also could be, you know, violently protective and love. And I think that is what I think is going to stick with me with Shooty's run more than anything else, is that emphasis of joy. So
he he's had more episodes than Eccleston overall.
I mean, that's the only saving grace.
By 5 episodes, which in my honest to God opinion still is not enough considering like the amount of time we've supposedly had him for. But
does do those 5 episodes also like include 73 yards where he's in about 5 minutes of the show?
Exactly. So like even then some of it shouldn't count, right? And we have Dot and Bubble where it's just his face for most of it, right?
And that episode this season, there was another one with just
oh,
Ruby.
you're right.
Oh yeah, the one with Ruby.
So we're at like 2 more episodes.
So he has 2 more episodes than Eccleston, more than anything. Let's be honest here. But we've supposedly had Shooty since what, 2023? I think it is something like that. And it will never be enough. I think just because Shooty, it still feels like he wasn't the Doctor that long, because it truly does feel like he went from Bi-Generation straight into Ruby Road almost. Very little bit of time between that. End of season 1. And then we don't know how much time between those 2 seasons with Joy to the World in the middle. But it's just...
you had to bring up Bi-Generation, didn't you?
I did have to bring up Bi-Generation because the Ronnie decided to Bi-Generate too.
This chaps my ass so much that it's such a great Doctor, and they introduce a concept of, hey, all of those Doctors you love, guess what? They got to go live a life after this. Except this really cool one we just gave you.
Yeah. But I will say, Shooty left his stamp despite the minimal appearances, I guess, in comparison to other Doctors.
I swear, Big Finish announced like a 3-part audio journey with Millie Gibson. I need it. I need more.
I'll take it. Hey, if it's Millie, I will take it. I love Ruby. I know a lot of people don't. I love Ruby, especially even in this episode.
No, and I feel like Ruby got more of a chance to be more than what she was last season, because like, let's face it, the season finale last season sucked when it came to her story, but there is something about her, and I think we're going to see more of it. At least I hope to. I mean,
apparently the reason why Ruby can remember everything is because of what happened in 73 yards.
Right.
So that's what makes her an anomaly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. Like Amy.
Yeah.
So Rose Kirby in the chat is asking the question, what do you guys think of Mrs. Flood saying it's a good night for me? Coming from the Mrs. Flood of the Ronnies. So
I think she was just dipping out. She's like, oh, this is really gone south. My plan didn't work, but I have a chance to get away, and I'm going to.
And I don't have to make sandwiches anymore.
I honestly was like, I would have rather seen more of the Ronnie than Mrs. Flood. I think I've seen enough of Mrs. Flood.
Same. I even have here, how the hell did Mrs. Flood / the Ronnie break the 4th wall so many times then?
I think it's just a Time Lord trait.
Apparently, so you're, but at the same time, just like, so the Master and the Doctor can break the 4th wall whenever they want.
Yeah. It's like when Shooty winked at the camera in the Devil's Court.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did that.
12 was doing lectures at the beginning of every single episode, like he was a teacher to the audience.
I just feel like that's just 12 monologuing to himself.
I love 12 because it could be either one.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I like.
Like there's scenes
going
he's
on
in the
about the
TARDIS and it's
paradox.
like, nah, I'm just in my head. I'm not actually in the TARDIS right now. Like,
which was great about 12 because you knew more about him, like what his reasoning and his thought processes were. Whereas like a lot of times, like I can remember the whole, what was it with the 12 or the 11th, like what he was doing. Like you had no idea what was going through his head or why he was doing what he was doing. until it just kind of like appeared on screen. So I like the reasoning from the 12th. Ruby's also asking, or I'm sorry, Rose Kirby is also asking, happy or sad that it's over for the time being.
I'm pissed.
Sad.
Depression.
I guess if we're choosing one of the two.
I do want to quickly talk about this. Do we think Ncuti left because of this uncertainty for the future of Doctor Who with Disney? And just
No,
on their
I
own?
think they got to do with the toxic fan base. They're brutal.
I also think the fact that he's just becoming really popular, and so
True.
there is a lot of demand. He's got a big, bright future ahead of him, and I think Doctor Who required time. I mean, let's face it. Season 1, he was in the midst of doing
Barbie,
and was he also finishing up like what was it, Sex Education?
Sex
or whatever
Education,
it was?
I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
So like he's been busy, and it's not like he can just devote himself like Tennant or I can't Smith
Matt
or any
Smith,
of them can do
or
at the
Capaldi.
time. You know, let's face it, Capaldi would have done anything and everything. The dude was like rejected from the fan club back in the day.
From being too big of a fan.
Yeah. Like to the point of where they actually in the fan club made a comment where they wish that the Dalek would have exterminated him.
Yep.
So,
And now I'm the Doctor, as he
Sarah,
says.
did you not know about this?
No.
Okay, I'm going to find the video clip and I'll send it to you.
Is it the Graham Norton
Graham
show?
Norton show.
Yeah. So they're talking and they read a letter he wrote where he was asking to be the secretary of the Doctor Who fan club. And they said, we already have a fan club. We already have somebody. And then later on, they said, they were talking about, no, you're fine. Like talking to the secretary. No, you're fine. It's not like I just read a really sad letter from Peter C. And I really wish that a Dalek would exterminate him.
Here, I'm sending it to you now.
Oh my god, that's
and
insane.
you saw the embarrassment on Capaldi's face when he's reading. He's like, I can't believe you found this. I can't believe you did this.
They even go like, "Oh, look, and here's the lady now," and he's like,
You know, I'm go ahead, Niko.
I was just gonna mention, and Doctor Who loves doing stuff like that. In Old Who, there's an episode about a psychic circus where the entirety reason that the episode was made was because there was this kid who would always submit things. So the episode's about how this kid in the world is the biggest fan of the psychic circus, but he's never been. So he doesn't really know anything about it, and there aren't any posts. And then in the episode, they have the gods of Ragnarok kill him and turn him into dust.
"What the?"
It'd be so funny. That was
Doctor Who was just so vindictive.
No.
Oh my god.
Funny enough, it was Chris Chibnall.
Okay, you know what? Maybe they were right for it. Maybe they had a good reason for it then. Considering what Chibnall brought on with the Timeless
Oh
Child.
my god. You know what? That's valid.
But you know, let's face it. We've talked a lot about like the end of Ncuti and stuff like that. We should probably actually talk about the episode a little bit too.
Yeah.
But let's also remember, regardless of how you may feel right now about this season and how it ended, there is one thing that we received during this run that we can never regret.
Don't do it.
And that's
I'm just saying.
a giant...
Play it.
Literally the best tune ever. It's so good.
No.
If I ever see an orange Muppet, I'm killing an orange Muppet.
No.
The amount of Will, I remember you dancing to it last week. What happened? Did something like change?
Yes, all of social media.
I will change that
Y'all
one
broke it
into
for
a
me.
0, I swear.
The fact that we go through this episode that we did and instantly I don't think, and I clicked the live stream from the BBC and it's still Dugadoo.
Yay! Oh, it's so iconic.
I mean, it's still amazing, and I love the way it's been a hook, but it wasn't, that's not the time, Tony, okay? It's not the time.
Rose, I am absolutely loving some of the comments here. So the Doctor's incarnation only lasted 540 days.
He also had like a full year stuck in during Joy to the World. Are those 365 days included?
Well, understandably, whenever we watch Doctor Who, we know that there is stuff that happens in between.
Oh yeah, no, there's books. I'm so glad I have some of Nchuti's books.
But I think Rose is talking specifically about how long we had Ncuti as the Doctor.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys see the grimace on Shooty's face when I always forget Susan's name. Sue. Anyway, when she's like, I'm wearing nylon, and then it cuts to him and he's just like
Yeah.
like his fashion is ultimately insulted at that point.
And
Hey,
like
Doctor knows
Kate's
how to
love
accept
interest, he's
stuff.
like, I'm wearing a suit. I loved all
I'm
of
wearing
that.
Here's the thing,
tweed.
He looks good in the suit, even. I can't deny it. Man looks good in a suit. Man looks good in a kilt.
Yes. I mean, he's
I
just
respect it.
so fine. I
Oh,
mean,
well, I love that they gave Whitaker the line too. Look at your face; it's absolutely beautiful.
yes.
Gorgeous.
I mean, yes, it is gorgeous.
Stunning.
Stunning.
Yeah. Do you know if we came out with a Doctor Who line of skincare products, it would sell. It would sell.
Probably. If it's Shooty on the front of it, probably.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody's gonna run with that idea.
Here's the thing. Shooty has turned me on to using tea tree oil after I shave to avoid bumps. It works wonders. I love it.
You know, and you have those those facial brushes, but make it like Sonic. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'll see myself out.
I can see
So-
it. I can
So
see
glad
it.
you
Yeah,
got that, Jack.
I'm gonna-
Oh man! By the way, how the hell did Mel ride her scooter all the way up to the
No,
top of the
that's
tower?
what I wanted to know too.
Maybe
Because I
she brought
remember
it up
watching
the
this
building.
episode,
I felt
I'm
like
like,
she
oh,
did.
he's being reunited. How did Mel get that up there?
But it got us to this point. Like I just love this image of her like getting ready to like take off.
You know, she probably honestly scaled the building vertically. You know, like that one episode with the
Yep.
11th Doctor where he scales the building with his motorcycle vertically. She
Yeah.
probably knows how to do that with
Wait,
her.
doesn't
with her wheelchair.
it fly? Because there was that one scene in one of the specials where he had to go up the stairs and she's like, I'll meet you there.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
No, she says, "Go on, don't let me hold you back."
Oh, okay. Like I thought she joined.
That was
later.
in the Star Beast. I know that. I remember that.
Correct.
One. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Great adaptation of that fourth Doctor comic.
It's based off a fourth Doctor comic.
Yeah, with Tom Baker.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
it's a little different. The God, I'm spacing on this. The meat. The meat
Oh, yes.
puts bombs inside of people
Yes.
and like
yes.
threatens to blow them up.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it also reminded me of the things from Kingsman.
Yeah, that tower probably has elevators for elevators. So you know.
I'm
there's-
not gonna lie though. After watching Final Destination Bloodlines, I do not look at wheelchairs the same.
I just love it. I just
If
love
you
it.
know, you know.
The 11th Doctor says hello.
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 oh, wow.
Oh wait, no. Correction. We should do it like oh god, like Rose. Oh, hello.
Or now wait a second. Don't get me started because that was the first thing that I clued in on after that happened. I'm sitting there in shock. I'm stunned. I'm like, what the heck? Is this all fan services now? Are we just doing stunt casting? Is that the name of the game? And
It's
then I
very
see
Dave
who
Filoni
Shooty got was
forward.
the Doctor. The tile comes up, Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor,
Mhm.
and introducing Billy
Mhm.
Piper.
Just Billy Piper though.
Wait,
They just
okay. I
add
have a
the
theory.
Doctor.
Are you guys ready? So
Mhm.
basically, I wasn't actually going to wait until you guys were ready. I'm just going to go. So
Do it.
basically, when the 15th Doctor is like leaving Belinda and Ruby and he's leaving, right? He's basically going into like an alternate reality. And my guess is that he's going unknowingly into the reality that maybe he sent Rose to. Because she's living in an alternate reality, and I'm wondering if maybe that's where he went. But like the whole regeneration part doesn't make sense for him not to be the Doctor. Like that whole thing, I don't have an explanation for. But yes, that's my theory.
Okay,
Happy
so
birthday.
so I will say that I'm piggybacking off of a comment that was left on David's like one of his TikToks, and I think this was one of the things. Like, okay, so Rose had at one time bound herself to the time vortex. We know that that's how we say, she saves the day at
The end of Nine's run.
in the end of Nine's run. I'm trying to remember what the parting of ways.
Yeah.
And so she has that ability. She's the one that laid the foundations for all of the Bad Wolf, through time and everything else. What if what he did was not necessarily a regeneration, but maybe there's an exchange that before he fully regenerates, before he becomes the next Doctor, there's this moment where Rose has kind of taken his spot and is in his place, and we're leading to whatever happens for the next Doctor, because they don't have someone lined up because they weren't expecting Ncuti to go so quickly.
That's the thing. I was fully expecting the episode just to cut as he's changing, and we don't get to see the new Doctor's face.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That would have been a lot easier.
That would have been a lot easier. And then as we were getting towards the end, I was like, oh, okay, another white blonde woman. All right. Well, I'm like, wait a minute.
Not to mention, if the show, let's say it weren't to continue after this, that is a perfect bookmark to drop in. So that way you can open the book later when you're ready to carry it again. Instead, I think you're right, Tony, in respect to seeing the time vortex and taking it in from the heart of the TARDIS and then blasting the regeneration energy in there. Yes, there's something there for sure, because I'm sure, as Johnny's list would point out, it's just RDT's reasoning.
Yeah.
So I get that part, but just the fan service of it all, man. Come on.
We got Jodie. That's the thing. I'm fine with the Jodie one. It's just, why is Billy back? Like, I'm fine with her coming back. She was in the 50th. Great. Made sense in that one. But for the Doctor to regenerate into Rose, it hits a certain level of low-key kissing Sylvie levels.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. He regenerates into his love interest.
Back to the 14th. Only if he goes back, like let's say as she's the incarnation, she goes to the 14th, and then there's this weird self-cess relationship.
Who knows? Maybe she'll meet up with 10.
No.
But just go back and
I will be writing a letter to the BBC and being like, "Don't you dare!" Because this is what happens, and this is the outcome, and don't do it.
Exactly.
Actually, no, now that you said it, Sarah, like maybe the Doctor is in that alternate reality with Rose, and now you can have both Rose and 16.
Well, here's okay, but here let's say it this way. Let's say they don't do the stupid decision in having this like weird self-relationship thing. What if she does end up going back to the 14th Doctor, and we go through space and time, at least for a little bit during a special, where everyone's like the Doctor pointing at him, and he's like, "No, it's and you've got this like misunderstanding between like." It just gets really.
I understand what you're saying, but like I feel like that would feel so much like Disney, the BBC, Doctor Who is trying to just make money and recoup.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be like in your face. Like here, let's do another round of like the 10th Doctor's run, basically. You know.
Which, here's the thing. Like I don't get the issue where like you could just, if you really want to, you can ask some actors like, hey, you want to come back for like more specials? They can be in your own continuity just later on in life. I know David looks different from how he did, but I'm sure they can stylize his hair enough to make him still look like 2006 or 7.
I like what the 11th Doctor's saying here. They could have just been mysterious and we'd not seen who the next Doctor would be.
Legit.
And leave it on a cliffhanger, because they could have easily just melded it together.
That's why I think that there's some sort of point or plot device that's going to happen, and Billy will only be for a special or a couple episodes, and then we're going to get another regeneration of the new person.
Right, but then to some level, then we're just getting really reckless with regenerations, because 14 showed up, had a comic book, had the 3 specials, regenerates in that time.
Yep.
Somebody brought up an interesting point that every time we've seen Billie Piper since she left as a companion, there's always been some type of multiversal aspect to it. When she shows up in the 50th, she's the box and they figure out, we can put Gallifrey in the pocket universe, right? Mm-hmm. What are the other ones?
That's the only time she should
there's the Dr. Donna, where they were dealing with the Daleks. She shows
Remember when
okay,
Donna had the parasite on her back, and Rose is getting pulled back into the universe because they were on like a different track where the Doctor died and the whole everything was wrong.
Yeah, I thought we weren't. I thought outside. I think of 10. Like 10's run.
Yeah.
Is there any other place besides the 50th?
As far as I'm aware, that's the only one.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I will say, anyone else like very okay with Ruby fighting that hard for Poppy though? Because like when they called back the moment of the Doctor just going back so that people remembered Ruby, that tugged a few heartstrings for me. Because I like Church on Ruby Road a fair bit.
When I saw Poppy okay coming out of that chamber, I'm like, this isn't done. This is not done. There's something else is going to happen.
You're like, this is too easy.
And it just gets smaller and smaller. And I thought that Ncuti knew it. Like he could see it at first, and he was trying to signal it to Ruby that he knew, but he didn't know either. He completely forgot.
Yep.
I like how Ruby didn't like give up on it. Like she really
same.
pushed, and like she immediately went back and she's like, "But we know this can happen. It happened to me."
Mhm.
And then at that point, I was thinking, "Uh-oh, the goblins have her. Like, are they going to go this route again? Are they going to do it? Like, it sounds like they might be doing it." And then of course it wasn't. Like,
I will say though, the way they brought Poppy back, it very much feels like the regeneration was all kind of for nothing. Because in some ways, Poppy in it of herself is great, love her to death. But to then take away the fact that she's half Time Lord as well. No offense to Poppy, it takes away half of that special moment, I think.
You know, I was mad about that at first. Like, you sacrificed everything to get that back, to shift time a little bit. But really, it's almost the same thing that 10 did for Wilfred. Like, in essence, he's like, oh, I need to save your life. Let me take in all of the nuclear energy and then regenerate, because I need to save your life is important.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, is this still Poppy then in some cases without the half Time Lord aspect? Because now it just feels like, okay, so this is just like another Poppy. Not quite the same Poppy.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the reason why it doesn't gel well for me.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like with Wilfred, like he was actually like legitimately saving a life in that moment, but like Poppy was fine in this alternate reality. It's just that like Ruby and Belinda wanted her to be in the reality that they were in.
I'm sure there's some aspect of this on Johnny's list, because I could not follow the formula that was going on with Poppy's existence and the important. And when did the Time Lords get sterile? I was so confused.
That is on there. I have that right at the top going, sterile Time Lords came out of nowhere and was a flimsy piece of reasoning for the Ronnie.
Yep. Like, grandchild, children? Hello? We've seen this multiple times where the Doctor has children.
And you know, not to mention,
when did this happen?
He wrote himself into a corner because, like, at the start of Ncuti's run, Ncuti has an offhand line of like, "Oh, you know, I'm supposed to have grandchildren," and then we're like, okay, so I just guess timey-wimey stuff. That's what it means. And now we find out, oh no, they were just sterile the whole time. I'm like, this is a new piece of lore you're dropping in the most offhanded, unnecessary way. I think that doesn't function too well as motivation for the Ronnie. I think there's better reasons there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And of course, there's the 10th, cloned daughter out there somewhere in the universe.
I was thinking that. I'm like, we have 10.
That's also his wife.
River.
What?
Let's God, Sweet Home Alabama.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
But no, like, we've got the Doctor's daughter in 10's run, and we have River Song, who existed. Now, I know they're not pure Time Lords because part humans, with the exception of the Doctor's daughter, but still, I'm like, they have regeneration capabilities.
But we also know that, like, being like DNA, completely DNA Time Lord is not always a thing. Like,
yeah.
Dude, 2 episodes ago, we had his daughter calling him from the ether of his mind saying, find me grandfather.
Yeah, that's still, too. We still don't have resolution for that.
Right? Yeah, just completely drop that plot line.
That plot line and the plot, like finding Rogue ever again with Ncuti was kind of why I was like, this sucks, because now we're never going to get that unless they do something else to mix it up.
Unless Ncuti comes back.
Yeah,
by the way,
talking from like the pits of hell, like, okay, you've got Wi-Fi and a broadcast channel in the pits of hell. What?
Hey, nothing's more demonic than the internet.
Exactly.
That's true.
He's got a hold of Satan's VPN for a second.
Did anyone deny me that 90% of tweets come from hell?
Yeah, 11th Doctor, he does deal with the Cybermen, but it's in a comic book. So
Great run.
I mean,
he also
yeah.
fights another god in there.
I need to go read that comic.
Ooh.
Oh well, look at that.
Yeah, sparkles.
Hey, let me ask the panel. I'm just curious. Did Poppy go out of existence because of the wish that Ruby had made that Connor find happiness? Or Conrad?
No, but Conrad went out of the existence because that world was made up of things that he could comprehend and understand. And when she wished for him to be happy, he disappeared because that could never happen in his brain.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll accept that. Does anyone else on the panel have a problem with the fact that Ruby is the only one that can sense these changes when she's in the presence of a Time Lord who has constantly said time can be rewritten, so he's lived alternate realities technically?
Yeah, no, I also noticed that. And the entire reasoning for Ruby being able to remember is still just 73 years happened, which still doesn't explain most of it. I'm like, but what caused 73 yards? Because I still don't know.
The fairy circle. She
But I'm
broke
like,
the
is that
fairy
really the
circle
reason?
within the vicinity
Yeah.
of the perception filter. So the woman was at the 73-yard
Yeah.
mark, and it caused that weird, I mean, because this is my take on it. There's a weird causal loop. There's two things. One, everyone freaks out for the woman that's 73 yards away because we find out that's Ruby on her deathbed at her final moments. She's the manifestation of mortality, which nobody can truly deal with if they have to face it. So that's why they all go crazy and run when they encounter that woman and hate Ruby, because you're going to hate the person that introduced you personally to death. And then, of course, we find out, she gets back into her normal life. So does that mean that there is this constant kind of, not a loop, but more like, that part on the ride of a roller coaster where it does that tiny little loop? Does that always happen in time? Anyway, sorry. 73 yards is both interesting and problematic on so many
I love
levels.
73 yards until I start trying to justify how it connects with the rest of Doctor Who. On its own, wonderful episode, though.
I think
Because
Ruby
73 yards is the length of the perception filter on the TARDIS.
Yeah.
I think Ruby should have punched Conrad right in the mouth.
That is on
Get
my
a
list
gun.
as well. Wish Ruby got to punch him.
Yep.
Yeah, by the way, the moment Ruby is in the room with Conrad at gunpoint, instantly I'm sure everyone else on the paddle is like, yeah, but the yellow button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
fully
was
expecting just
still
hit the L
freaking
button.
out that they brought back that technology from the Project Violet, because it's the same thing Martha uses to teleport to the Osterhagen that they
No.
took
Yeah,
from the
that's true.
Centaurans.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
As soon as she hit the yellow button, like, oh, what does this do? I was like, that's gonna come up. She's gonna go behind Conrad for some reason.
I'm surprised Conrad didn't just start shooting. Like, he's that crazy in my brain. I'm like,
In my mind, it's just he's too big of a pussy to actually pull a trigger.
He was too afraid, like, that kind of stuff.
My mind thinks Rose Tyler is still the moment stuck on an alternate reality, but after regeneration, the TARDIS.
Oh my gosh, what if it's a manifestation of the TARDIS again?
I think it's a lot simpler. I think it's more like 12. Like 15 was the doctor who could say he loved people, and like 12 was a reminder. Peter Capaldi's face was a reminder to be kinder and save people. This is like a reminder to love.
Mm.
Maybe
It's
the
how
TARDIS
I
is just fucking
interpret
with
it.
the Doctor.
The TARDIS is always fucking with the doctor.
Exactly. Just like, I'm just gonna put this little filter over you to make you think you turn into someone else.
Like,
When
I'll
in
never
reality,
forget the
you got a
Sixth
different
Doctor.
face.
Yeah, the Sixth Doctor tried to fix the perception filter, and the TARDIS is like, I want to be a blue box. You want me to be different? I'm gonna turn into an organ in the middle of the street. We're playing games now.
I need to go watch that. That sounds great.
It's
I
because
mean,
he's
we've
like,
met the TARDIS. Like,
yeah.
she's a sassy bitch.
Yeah.
Are you referring to
She is
sexy?
a sexy bitch.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, Johnny, that's a great old Who episode. The Sixth Doctor's like spinning, like he's trying to impress Perry. So he's like, I'm gonna fix this. I don't know why it won't stop turning into this blue box. And then by the end of the episode, you're like, oh, the TARDIS just wants to be a blue box. It just likes this.
See here, that's hilarious just to imagine Colin Baker, because he seems like such a grumpy doctor.
Yes, he has like wires running around everywhere. He's like, I'm gonna fix this. I fixed it this time. Steps out, it's an organ. I'm like, how does that logistically work? Where did you step out?
Why do we have to remember good writing and fun?
You tell me. Apparently, everything needs to be an overarching story that needs to interconnect and have some big stakes and consequences.
CGI monsters
and a CGI skull of a monster. Okay, those mammoth things were cool as shit, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but they were underutilized. They were waste. But then we
they
got this guy.
Were.
And they were much better than this.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
I expected something like that. I also expected the Ronnie to die from him because you're bringing back Omega to bring back to the Time Lords. This is their number one hater. You're bringing back the Time Lords' biggest op.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought
she got eaten. That was fun.
No, I thought that unit was going to have more of a problem with those giant skeletal monsters. They just disintegrated them with
they just turned Avengers Tower into a freaking pirate ship.
Yeah, it was
right
all
down to a
the
giant
moment the building went on a swivel. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
This is just a Megazord.
I was watching this. I'm just like, can it turn? I'm like, it can turn.
And then we saw the Bone Palace just completely disintegrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like,
I still don't like that name.
Having seen
RTD
Omega's
called
last
it a bone
appearance-
palace.
Yeah.
Well,
the Ronnie's plan was never going to work.
disappeared. Like it really did dematerialize. So it was more like a bone zone, I guess. Will if you really want to.
Bone zone.
God.
Yeah, the Ronnie's plan was never going to work. Omega hasn't been genetically a Time Lord for centuries. Like he's made of antimatter, and like that's why he can change his form, and he's no longer a Time Lord. He's a beast.
The fact that that Omega just willingly chose to be, let me just turn into a giant skull monster with freaking giant hands, looking like some shit out of an anime.
And I'm just gonna eat people.
It makes sense.
I'm just gonna eat the
crazy,
Ronnie.
Like
He's
once
like,
he learned he didn't
sweet.
have a physical form, like the yell, he's like, no. Like, what is happening?
This is suddenly an episode of Attack on Titan.
Legit, yeah. And then he just literally just pulls out the Vindicator right behind him.
And he calls him a Titan.
Yeah. Oh my
and
God.
just starts shooting him. I'm just like, sorry, what was the Vindicator collecting again that allows it to shoot the power of a million suns?
It was collecting the power of a billion supernovas. That's how dangerous the Vindicators were. Like, the Doctor never said it, but he was trying to punch a hole through reality to get to May 24th. Fueled by a billion supernovas.
Yeah, so they had every single one of those points that he was at in time and space was also feeding the energy back to this new centralized Vindicator clock on the wall.
You know,
and thus giving the whole. Yeah,
that's why she let him do it the whole season.
Now that you mentioned that, couldn't he have just gone back to the Time Hotel and be like, "Hey, Anita, help me out here. Can you open a door?"
I mean, he didn't know Anita was working at the Time Hotel, right?
He didn't know she had a house key.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
He didn't know a lot.
But I also want to say, like, I love the fact that
Ricardo?
like she's opening doors in different places, and we see the 11th.
And the third Doctor.
Match. And then
that was great.
We see him with Rogue, and like you saw, like the surprise, then the disappointment and the jealousy a little bit.
That just
and then,
confirmed.
Oh, I didn't read it as that. I read it that she saw it.
Ricardo right after that.
Yep.
Like she fell into the arms of Ricky.
Poor Ricardo. He's the rebound guy.
I don't think of it that way. I thought she was excited to see him, and then she realized, oh, he's having a moment. I should leave him to this.
No,
that's how I
thought she was really disappointed at the fact that he is not straight. Because that is the exact face that like a lot of other women, including myself, make when we find out that really, really hot actors are not straight. So.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he's queer. Damn it.
And then the preceding thought is sometimes for some people is I could change him.
That don't work.
No. Sorry. When it comes to Shuti, he changes you. Okay.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and in many ways, the 15th Doctor did change Anita's life. So.
Oh,
that's true.
Yeah, and that long way around was like, I think that was one of my favorite moments with the Doctor. Just seeing it, like the moment when she handed him the plunger, and he's like, "Is this armed?"
Yeah, I love that bit. Oh man!
I think my favorite moment from there was when he just has like the TARDISes lined up. He's like, I found them online. People just like make them. I guess they've had some fascination. It's like, dude, you know why people make these? They love it.
It was cute. It was giving like I hate bringing up the 11th Doctor all the time because he is like my doctor, but like it was giving like Amelia Pond and like her TARDISes in her room.
Yep.
By the way, does it feel like for anyone else that they just kind of benched Belinda?
I thought they benched Ruby low key. Like
I thought
they benched both
she got to
women
deal with
in
him.
such a way that like I feel like Belinda was benched in a way that she was like tied to parenthood, and then I feel like Ruby was benched in such a way that like she was completely ignored in that TARDIS scene. I was like, are we not including Ruby? Like you're not even including her in your conversation. Like nothing is happening. I felt like second tier friend vibes, and I was like very uncomfortable.
Yeah, the majority of the time that we saw Belinda, she was like this.
Yeah.
And then when you see Ruby, she's like literally standing around like trying to figure out things. Like they just didn't give them a lot of like substance to really do in the episode. Now, mind you, Ruby was able to convince the Doctor. And I think that's the persistence of the companions. But at the same time, like even Kate really didn't do a whole lot other than bark orders, and like we've seen her in the past. We've seen her be much more involved. I mean,
we're getting that unit TV show or that movie that's coming out that I sent you guys.
Did you guys see the trailer for it?
Yeah. Yep. I sent it.
The Battle of Land and Sea.
Oh! I was like thinking that was something else. I was like, why is Doctor Who tagged in this?
Oh no! So
I was really confused.
It's got Kate in it. It's got Kate.
Okay, well, I just thought it would just had a lot of the actors in it. I don't know. Sorry, my phone's going off.
Gosh.
No.
But yeah, no, like I was a little bit disappointed by the end of it all, where it's just like, okay, so they're just benching Belinda to this. I feel like Belinda could have a bit more because I love. Belinda
it was.
Yeah.
It was. She was a great companion, a wonderful character. Like Tony said, I loved the hesitant companion, the one that doesn't want to be there, the resistant companion, if you will. I really liked that aspect of it. I thought it was a great way to tell the story. But I don't feel like the companions in either of Shooty seasons were really, I don't want to say handled well, but like there's literally, it's like, oh, well, I found my birth mom and what, so now you're not going to be going in the TARDIS with the Doctor? There was no clear need for the separation. Why did we have to have Ruby go away?
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of disconnectedness, man.
Yeah. It was poorly done.
Unanswered
all around.
I feel like it would have been more satisfying had we just not had 8 episodes a season, had it been at least 10.
Okay, so we have got to wrap up. We're almost at the hour mark. We've got to do scoring, which I'm terrified to get. So we're gonna make this. So we're gonna make this.
Well, should we just start with you then,
Sarah? No.
Oh, okay.
No, I get to control the. What are you talking about? No, Sarah. I'm not gonna make you go first. David.
Period.
I'm gonna say 9.5.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Do you see the reactions of everyone else?
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
I cannot.
This is like rage baiting or something like that. Like, what are you doing?
This
is why David, I'm going to give it a 10.
This is like
I was waiting for Niko.
I don't ever like to rate first because I don't like to rate things to begin with. I just focused on.
Wait, for just this episode or for his whole run? Are we doing
just this episode?
Well, no, I can get us the whole run. Don't worry. Don't worry, we'll get there.
There was a lot of stuff that was bittersweet, and I liked some of it. Some of it, like the unanswered questions, annoy me. That's where the half comes off. But seeing Jodie again was just the joy I felt made up for so much of it. So that's kind of why I'm rating it higher.
5 minutes makes up for like an hour.
Apparently.
Okay, Niko, you want to you said 10.
Oh yeah,
I know.
Yeah. I'm serious about this one. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask why? I'm not disagreeing. I'm like I want to love it and appreciate it as much as you do. Is the main reason why I'm asking why.
Yeah.
Why what? Just why a 10?
Yeah. Why a 10? Because to me a 10 means there's nothing else that you would change, and it is as it is perfection.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Fair enough.
Okay,
I like the culmination of everything that comes up with Shooty's run in this. I like all of the references. I like the tiebacks to the old Russell T Davies era. I like the villains that appeared. The Ronnie died. That was hilarious.
Ronnie died.
Ronnie.
I'm just curious if she.
Ronnie died.
Yes, but I am curious if Mrs. Flood can bigenerate again or just regenerate. But I guess we'll see. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Well, of course, like I have to say this because it always irritates Will. I believe that once they bigenerate, the older one is now unable to do so and will eventually, expire.
Unless
it
the
makes
Ronnie
sense
finds
why Shooty had extra regeneration energy in Lux.
That could
But also that him losing that regeneration energy is probably why he had to kill himself.
God damn it! Yeah, probably.
Sarah, I feel like we've gone from highs. I think we're going to lows. Go for it.
Yeah. I just want to say I respect all your guys' opinions. I'm just shooketh, and that's my face. And 3 out of 10.
Oh, okay, that's actually lower than mine.
Yeah, I really hated it. Except for the ending. And I don't feel like the ending or Jody makes up for the entire episode because it is an hour long and those moments were like 5-10 minutes total. So
sure. How about you,
Johnny?
Oh, me? Okay, I gave it a 6.
Okay.
It's like I said, like I always like whenever I review anything, it always starts at a 5, and depending on what you do, it either brings you down or it brings you up. It kept moving it for me. So yeah.
Okay. Will.
Considering my first reaction after having watched it was, I enjoyed half of it, so I'm literally giving it half a score of 5 out of 10.
Oh, okay. Well, even Will went lower than me.
I'm not maximizing my screen for mine, but so let me explain before I get into it because I feel like I need to.
We owe David an apology too. We shouldn't have reacted to that. I'm sorry. Your score is your score, sir, and you're entitled to it.
Right.
Speak your truth.
So it is a much better finale than last season's finale. I feel like there was more involved in it other than just dragging something through. Yeah, we did. The problem was not necessarily the big bad. The Titan Omega was not the villain. Ronnie wasn't really the villain. It was the reality falling in on itself. And so for that sake, the plot was not as bad for me. There were pieces of it that I felt like left holes. I absolutely loved us having a callback to the Time Hotel, seeing it was Sam, right? Is it Sam?
Anita?
You mean Anita?
Never mind. It's like Heather all over.
Like, who the hell is
Anita?
Sam?
Yeah, I was like, Sam.
I'm like, I'll just take a shot in the dark. I think you mean Anita.
I was like, the
Whatever.
doctor call himself Sam? It doesn't make sense.
Listen, names. It doesn't. I'm in the wrong time loop. That's all.
I empathize.
But I love that. I love seeing the callbacks to the doctors. I absolutely loved Jodie at the end. I felt like him calling back to Joy in her celestial form was fantastic. I have no idea how I feel about Billie Piper. Her face being, the face that we see during the regeneration. I'm going to give this like a solid 7.5 out of 10. This is better than I think some other things. Again, a lot of times we're going to compare this to like the airtight holes or the airtight plots with the previous seasons, like before Jodie's run. And I know there's been like a storyline issue when it comes since Jodie that they're just not really giving them, like, it's not as planned out as I think the 11th or the 10th, or so on. But still, I think it was a solid episode. I enjoyed it enough. I love seeing my kid get excited. Like, I was there. He was watching it when I came up after doing the Thunderbolts review, and he was watching the regeneration, and I looked at his face and he's like, what? Or
What?
more appropriately,
What? 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 What?
causing conversations within the Hooniverse. And I think for that, I really appreciate it more than maybe I did when I first watched it.
I do want to briefly ask, does this change how you feel how you feel about Wishworld?
What did I give Wishworld, Johnny?
You gave Wishworld a 7.
That's lower than mine.
No, it's about the same.
You give it a 7?
It
That's
was
still
about
okay.
the same. Yeah.
I gave it a 5. 5 still feels appropriate for that right now, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
But-
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no. So our season 2 rating overall, from Robot Revolution all the way to Reality War, is a 7.86 out of 10.
We were getting real experimental with those numbers that first episode.
It'll be interesting to be able to have our scores captured now, and if we get to the rewatch period where we hit this point again in 3 years, we
will.
No, I'm pretty sure we're if I remember, we did the calculations online. I think we're going to be like 14 years into this season.
That math seems specious.
Yeah, that math a little shaky.
I don't know.
I think it was about 5 years originally, but okay.
That's the most timey-wimey math. No.
You know, I'll actually do the math later. We'll see.
No.
See, I gotta go back and look. Well, with that said, this has been Tardis Talk episode 18. We are finished with season 2. Next week we go right back into David Tennant's run with season 2, episode 0, technically online. The Christmas special, the Christmas invasion, where we get to see the Santa robots for the first time, and yeah.
And a killer Christmas tree.
Beyblade Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Good. It's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
And the short-lived prime minister.
Right.
Yeah. Did you think she looks a bit tired?
A little bit tired.
Yep. A little bit tired.
Absolutely. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and just say where we can find ourselves. Will, go first.
If that Will Wilkins on all socials.
Wow.
2 L's, just like Johnny.
If everybody else can match that energy, we need to keep it up. We need to step it up a notch.
Well, we already did it at the beginning. I don't need.
Y'all can find me at Marvelous Johnny on all my socials. 2 L's in Marvelous, not 2 L's in Johnny. I don't know why Will said that.
I meant like your name.
I know. I was just messing around. I got to bring up some energy, Will.
Xanatos 1138 on all socials. That's really simple.
With an X.
At Movies and Tea on all socials.
With an at.
Niko Skywalker on TikTok. Skywalking Niko on Instagram. I cosplay the former Doctor.
With a sky.
Don't remind me.
And he was iconic in the cosplay, so reposted by NYCC. So if that should tell you something.
Yep. And you can catch Niko at New York Comic Con this coming fall. So absolutely. I'm Tony, founder of It's FanBox. You can find me at Mr. Marvelite everywhere else. I barely am doing anything lately if it's not involved in this channel. But we're gonna work on that. I realized I was sitting with a nephew and he was wanting me to show him his TikToks, and I realized I do a lot of talking about what I think about stuff. I need to start doing just silly, funny stuff again. So
we need to do more puns again, like Gwen Stacy really falling for Spider-Man.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I need to actually have a social media presence that makes 10-year-olds happy. I guess that's how it works. So.
Oh, that's cute.
I gotta keep being the cool uncle. But with that said, it's fanbox.com. Be sure to check us out there. You can find out other stuff that we're doing at fanboxnetwork.com. And again, like later on today, there'll be the real study, I believe, this evening. And we will see you guys next time. So let's go ahead and let's head out.
I know what he's
saying. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
There we go.